This time on Roadkill Garage, we got big stinky power for the Mopar Muscle Truck.
Well, at least the engine's still pretty good.
Well, it's engine swap day. We're getting ready to remove about 400 horsepower and install 550, and we got to do it in about 12 hours because tomorrow, Steven Seagal here is going to pull the truck inside and hopefully not get it too hot because we got to tear it down right now. Ready? We can't have Steven Seagal driving around with a 318.
No. Although I like the 318. The 318 has been good.
You got to catch people up and tell them like why it has a 318. Last time they saw it, it had 360.
So you might remember episode 15 of Roadkill Garage, we dropped in a fresh 360 motor in the Mopar Muscle Truck.
So now it should crackle immediately to life, right?
I think so.
That was about a 500 horsepower motor. We raced it against the original Chevy Muscle Truck.
What are you doing here?
Beating you.
In another episode, we towed the Crusher Camaro, but what you didn't see in that episode is coming home, it overheated terribly. Turned out the 360 had a pinhole in the cylinder wall. So to keep it on the road, I put in this 318 temporarily, but at 400 horsepower, I don't think I can really call this a muscle truck. So I've got a 550 horsepower 408. This 318 is coming out, the 408 is going in.
So what's the power combo on this 318?
It's a 40 over block. It's got a KB 167 flat top piston. That gives it about a little over 10 to 1 compression. Yeah. Probably close to 10.5 to 1 with these heads. They're pretty nicely ported stock iron head.
And what cam?
The cam's a Comp XC 268. And that's 224, 230 at 50, 477, 480 lift on a 110 lobe separation. It's a nice street cam, I like it.
Hydraulic flat tappet.
Yeah. And the intake manifold is a regular performer, which I ported out to match the larger port size of these 360 heads. It seems to work pretty good. So here's my secret to super cooling on the Mopar Muscle Truck. I took the stock shroud and reworked it for this, a way oversized clutch fan. I think there's about 7 blades there. Man, this thing moves a phenomenal amount of air. I want something that runs cool all the time, and that does the trick.
This is gonna be the third engine in this truck within, what, 4 months?
The 318 didn't last very long.
So wait, you swapped this engine alone 2 weeks ago. I wasn't here.
Yeah.
Oh, what am I doing here now?
Helping?
Did you notice that I wore my Hot Rod Garage t-shirt today?
No.
So that we could get this done quickly and perfectly. Okay, up. There we go.
Wow.
Liberty.
Goodbye, 318. It's been
Bye-bye.
nice knowing you.
Cute little 318. Normally, this is the point on Roadkill Garage where we'd be calling it a day and going it inside. But our deal this time is that the guys from Hot Rod Garage rented the drag strip, which is about half an hour from here, and we really want to run this thing tomorrow, and so we're gonna have to stick it out and get this thing done tonight, so the first thing in the morning we can drive down there and run it.
All right, happy days, man. I'm surrounded by small block Mopars. Right here we have a Magnum and the old school small block LA engine. The Magnum replaced the LA series small block in the early 90s, and there are differences that might foul you up when you're switching from one to the other. Now, starting at the top, the intake manifold on the Magnum has vertical bolts. The LA has angled bolts, so they don't interchange. The thermostat location at the top is in a different spot, so that's going to foul you up on your air conditioner bracketry if you're taking it off the LA and attempt to put it on the Magnum. Now, a Magnum from the factory has a different front cover. I've replaced that with the LA cover. That gives me the provision to put a mechanical fuel pump because I really like the mechanical pump over an electric. The Magnum also has bosses for the motor mounts in the side, but they did retain the ears like a regular LA. So that's the same. You can take the brackets right off your LA engine and put it on the Magnum. These are newer, but the architecture is pretty similar, so you can usually switch from one to another without too much trouble. Do you like my clear coat?
Clear-coated the Mylodon pan. So the 408 had this trick Mylodon center sump pan, which is like for a passenger car, cool kick out and everything. But unfortunately, that won't fit the truck, so we're gonna have to go to a regular stock type pan that uses the rear sump, like so. Is it hitting something in there?
Must be, because it's rocking.
How can that be? Can it not handle the stroker crank?
I'm sure it's fine. That oil pump is hanging way out the back. It's way far away. It's probably hitting the pickup.
Guaranteed, really badly. Take it off.
I was afraid you would say that.
So the trouble we're having here is we can tell that the pan won't drop down all the way, and it's no doubt that the pickup's hitting the bottom of the pan, even though this just came off a different engine where it fit perfectly.
Maybe the tray is set higher.
It could be these.
Put some grease on
Yeah, I'm
those.
gonna grease them.
We have to resolve this before the silicone dries. I know what it's going to be.
Oh, it's totally rocking on those.
Yeah. I'm sure we have got a great witness mark already. This is going to be right where these...
Oh, fully, yeah. So you can see where the grease from these nuts ended up transferring right there. Yeah.
It's down. It's down all the way.
Here's really the downfall of this whole episode is that because we decided pretty much last night to do this today, we don't have a new clutch and we don't have a nice machined flywheel on it either. My guess is that that is the item that makes us at the end of the show going, why didn't we change it? It's gonna ruin everything. At the drag strip, it's gonna slip. This is an actual piece of a transmission that we're using as a clutch alignment tool.
It's the best clutch alignment tool you can get.
I'm tired.
We haven't even got the motor in yet.
And we haven't even got the engine in yet. Notice that I said engine instead of motor so that we didn't have like the commenters going, you guys are idiots. It's not a motor is electric, an engine burns fuel.
I noticed that.
Let's dump it in. Down, doobie-doo, down, down, install my motor, down, doobie.
Is it an engine or a motor?
Keep going, and stop there.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. 408 is officially in place. All we have left now is to hook up all the accessories, which I think we're probably gonna run into some fiascos because of the Magnum bolt pattern on the intake manifold and probably some other things with the accessory drive, but other than that, we are good to go.
Wow, I'm pretty excited. I have a 408 in the Mopar Muscle Truck.
Finally, the muscle is back.
Yeah. Man, I hate to do it. It's my satellite, 1971. This engine, after being in 3 cars, is a small block 340. It's pretty similar to the engine that's going in the truck. I'm gonna take the alternator brackets, water pump pulley, and crank pulley off of this, put it on the truck, which is kind of ironic because the 408 that we're putting in the truck was supposed to revive this car. That's what I built it for originally.
Man, everything's going great. I'm like cranking the headers together, putting together all the gauges and stuff, Dulciches underneath, and then I'm going to put the distributor in, and I go to rotate the engine, and sure enough, locked up solid. Let's go to the instant replay. Is it hitting something in there?
Must be, because it's rocking.
Can it not handle the stroker crank?
I'm sure it's fine.
I actually said to Steve, hey, when we're putting the stock pan on, do you think there's a chance the stroker crank might hit it? He's like, no. I think that's our problem. So we're gonna lie under to see if we can make it happen and waste a whole bunch of time.
Took both back corners off.
That's it?
One more on the side.
It hit so solid the first couple times, but then you just powered through it. I think it might have healed.
I think that might be it, right around there.
Okay, we got a whole bunch of stuff bolted up. I've even got the distributor in and roughly timed, but what we're gonna do now is crank the engine over with the starter with no spark plugs in it so that it cranks really fast so that we can get some oil pressure. Go. See the oil going? He's cranking it for a while to get oil all the way up to the top end and everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it got up to 30 psi of oil pressure, so we're good.
Yeah.
That's not bad off the starter. Okay, so far so good.
Carb. 850 annular discharge Holly. This thing is a 408 cubic inch stroker. The whole top end is hardcore ported by a buddy of Steve's, Bryce. Magnum heads from Metalbrock. It's got a single plane intake manifold from Mopar Performance. It's a hydraulic roller cam. It's not that big. It's 230, 236. And it made 550 horsepower and 550 pound-feet of torque, so it should be a beast. The thing about our drag strip run tomorrow is, to tell you the truth, here comes Steve again. I'm not expecting that much. It's just a shakedown.
Were you just
have problems.
divulging all my speed secrets?
No. This thing's gonna snap to life immediately.
Really?
It's not gonna be like every other time we've started an engine. Let's just fire it up for a second before we got the radiator and everything just to make sure it runs.
A few seconds? Fire's right up.
Best fire up ever.
I know.
Perfect.
Everything went like clockwork.
And there's fuel in the filter. It just, that pump obviously doesn't pump when
that
cranking.
Cranking, yeah.
Okay, great. So that's all you need to know. We're gonna spend the rest of the night here just buttoning up accessories and radiator and junk like that. And then we will see you tomorrow at the drag strip. Yeah, it does.
It's got more torque than the 318.
You think?
Yes.
So this is the type of engine everybody says don't put in a truck because it's got a giant carburetor, which is probably too big, and it has a single plane intake manifold.
Too much camshaft.
I don't know if I can go with too much cam. I mean, it doesn't even feel like this is our first drive with a new engine because everything is just going perfect. Oh man, it's just cruising. 2,100 RPM, 60 pounds of oil pressure, 160 degrees.
Yeah, pretty nice. I'm not going to really hammer it too hard at the drag strip. It's just going to be more of a shakedown. I don't want to drive through the clutch off the line with this.
I am worried about that clutch. We still need to fix that.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is with the windows down, I get my hair in my eyes and it's kind of annoying. I think I might need to get a haircut so I can drive this thing.
Oh, it's gonna be so hot.
I know.
Auto Club Famoso Raceway, the scene of victory and defeat. Okay, we made it. We're at Auto Club Famoso Raceway here, this time out of the courtesy of the guys from Hot Rod Garage. They're here shooting an episode with their Bone Marrow, which is a 5.3 liter LS powered turbo Camaro. So we went and blew their scene and hung out with Tony and Lucky a little bit. Hey dudes!
Hey!
They were all cool. They had a big success today. I probably shouldn't tell you what it is in case you haven't seen that episode yet, but as you know, you can also watch Hot Rod Garage on Motor Trend On Demand. But we blew them out of the way, and now the track is all ours. Basically, we are here just to shake this thing down, have some fun, see what kind of mile an hour it'll run. We still have issues. We haven't fixed any of the stuff from prior episodes that we know is a problem, like wheel hop. Traction, we're gonna help with some 30 by 1250 street legal slicks on the back. But the big problem is that this transmission and clutch will not bang shift at high RPM. So who knows what could happen today, but at this point, I was telling Dulcich on the way here, there can be no lose in this episode because I forced Dulcich to get rid of that 318 and put in the real motor that he's wanted to have in a vehicle for like 10 years. And on the way here, the muscle truck proved to be really good. It's a sweet truck. And now we're only in it for the fun. So here's the thing. The last time that we had the Chevy Muscle Truck at the track in Norwalk, Ohio, it went 12.76 seconds at the quarter mile. It is totally not out of the range of possibility that this truck is capable of that, except for the huge problem with the shifter. So I've been trying to tell Steve that I don't really have high expectations, but I am gonna be so happy for him if he can even break into the 12s. But if I have to throw out a guess, I think it's gonna run like 1430 right now. See, slow shift. Oh man, that thing's making power though. He's all over the track. Yeah, shifter nightmare. And yet, 1481, but only 89 miles an hour. That shows you the potential of this thing. That was a disaster of a pass, and it still went 1480. Yeah, his 60-foot time was 2.093 seconds, which is not at all good. That's not going to improve today, I don't think. Overall, lame. We can do better. None of that surprised me. How about you?
It felt like it was spinning the tires the whole way down the track.
Hardcore.
How come?
It has power.
I mean, even in second gear, I got on it and it just blazed the tires.
Oh, completely.
Did you see it fishtailing when I was in second gear?
Yeah, it was a mess. It's really, really hot out. The track temperature is 140 plus degrees. Yeah. That just makes the glue slippery, not gluey.
How about if I just go for a Sunday drive now?
Yeah, try it, but I would try and get wide open in third and drive it out the back door. I want to see the mile an hour number. So in other words, everything that we already knew was wrong with the truck, surprise, is still wrong with the truck. I don't care. We're having fun. He's just easing into it and it's still all over the place. Look at that. 1412 at 94. He was easing into it and it was still a mess. I'm probably gonna have to look into the suspension on that thing. I think that the pinion snubbers have way too much preload and it's just got the rear end locked up so that it can't even grab the track. You can't even keep it wide open through the lights?
I don't know, it really starts wagging at the top end. The wheel alignment's not very good. It's hard to control.
You only went 95. We did faster than that on the highway on the way here.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, don't wreck the thing.
I don't want to wreck it. I'd rather have more air in the tires if I'm going to drive it faster through the lights.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, I'm steering it like this up there, just trying to keep it straight.
That's probably why.
No, I don't think so. I knew you were going to say that.
10 pounds of air in slicks is real normal. They feel loose. You just have to ride it out.
All right.
No, I mean, don't crash the thing for me, but I don't want to put more air in the tires and have you wreck it for that reason. thing handles terrible. I see what he's talking about. I think he might be driving it too much. 1458 at 92 miles an hour. That's a handling nightmare. He's going all the way down the track like this. I don't know what. It's probably super hot now. Let's go cool it down.
Yeah, it's getting a little hot. Man, I'm just not getting anywhere with it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's going like this all the way down the track, which just doesn't make any sense because it's not spinning the tire down there.
I want you to try it.
I don't want to wear your sweaty helmet.
Oh, is that worse?
We're gonna take a break. Uh-oh. That's the problem. He has a broken axle. We're done.
I think the rear end's blown out of it.
Yep. Well, I guess there's your answer. Something's radically wrong with the rear end now. So once again, let's review. You have a bad traction problem, your transmission won't shift. What you really want to do is add about an extra 150 horsepower because then you can break even more stuff and make yourself a web show and have a really good time. So now I don't feel quite as cool about talking Dulcich into like fixing his truck, but that's okay. This gives us even more reason to upgrade the thing. Because do you know what's coming next? We now have the Chevy Muscle Truck. We now have the Mopar Muscle Truck. Wait to see what we have for you on the next episode of Roadkill Garage. I think we're done.
sun.